matter what, people will commit to misunderstanding you. What's most important is your commitment to understanding yourself. Hello, you guys. My name is Nkirka Madani, known as NK, and welcome back to Misunderstood. Here's how you romanticize fall. Today, we are going to be talking about our fall bucket list. I loved doing this episode in summer and I got really good feedback on it, so I might as well just carry it on from season to season and give you guys all of my inspiration, all of my ideas on how to make this new season the best ever. Fall is so warm and cozy and fun if you want it to be. We all get to decide how we want this new season to play out. You are in control of how it plays out. So I'm very much looking forward to taking you guys through this entire bucket list. Strap in, there are a lot of items. But before we get started, please take some time to rate Misunderstood, this podcast, 5 stars. I love coming on the mic each week, sharing my heart and resonating with so many people. It feels like my purpose, and I absolutely enjoy this part of my job so much. A free and easy way you can support the continuation of this podcast is leaving a 5-star rating on Apple, Spotify, and wherever you are listening. Thank you so much. All right, we have 28 items on my fall bucket list. First off, I had so much fun putting this together. The visual of putting together my fall bucket list is on my YouTube channel if you want to watch the process. I love going on Pinterest, getting some inspiration, and then I am truly off pouring my heart out onto the page and putting together a season that is filled with love, filled with warmth, filled with excitement, and such an amazing way to look forward to the season ahead. A lot of people get very sad when we get into the later months of the year. I'm talking fall and winter, but since we're in fall right now, that is the start of some seasonal depression. And I do want to tap into seasonal depression in a separate episode because I myself have gone through a lot of negative feelings around this time of year. And so that is actually why I inspired myself to start a bucket list. It gives me something to look forward to. It gives me many ideas on how I can make the season ahead something positive, something special, something memorable, something that will make me smile, and I can look back on all the memories I had. So let's run through this list. Number 1, drink a pumpkin spice latte. I mentioned this in the previous episode, but I am committed to creating a signature fall drink at home. I did just order the syrup container. So this is just an accountability check-in. I have done step 1, which is order the syrup container. I'm going to be making my own pumpkin spice syrup from scratch. That will most likely be in a TikTok or future YouTube video, but very excited about that. But along with that, I do want to go out and sit at a coffee shop and sip a pumpkin spice latte. I want to go to specifically an artisanal coffee shop, so no chains, and romanticize my life always, but also feel like the main character. I think when you go sit at a coffee shop and drink a seasonal beverage during fall, you feel like you're in Gilmore Girls, which is exactly what we're striving for. Number 2, go to a pumpkin patch. Since living in New York City, I've been to a pumpkin patch each fall. This is my 3rd fall in New York City, so we obviously have to continue that tradition. I'm very much looking forward to going to a pumpkin patch. It's so much fun to get dressed up, take some pictures, obviously grab some pumpkins. I remember last year I went to a pumpkin patch with a guy. Actually, both of my previous falls in New York City, I was dating someone different. I think it's such a cute date activity, but also you can go with your friends, you can go solo. You guys already know, if you've been listening for a while, I do so many things by myself. I do so many things without a boy because you don't need a boy to live your life and do things, but pumpkin patch has to happen. I'm already looking into ones that I can drive to, commute to. I want one that feels like a real pumpkin patch experience, right? I want to touch grass. I want to be in the fields. To do that, you have to get outside of the city. There are ones that I know that all I need to do is take the LIRR, take the train Metro North up, and have myself a day at the pumpkin patch. Number 3, go apple picking. This is another activity that I have kept a strong tradition for the past almost 3 years in New York City. I've been going to the same apple orchard and I cannot wait to go this year. It's called Angry Orchard. It's in Walden, New York, which is close to Beacon. That's actually the last train stop you would take, and then you would take an Uber to Walden. I love it so much. They have cider tasting. You can go pick apples. They have great food. They have apple cider donuts. It's an entire vibe and it's a whole day trip. You go in the morning and you come back in the early evening. I cannot wait to go. Number 4, eat an apple cider donut. So I kind of just mentioned this, but a lot of things I realize I can team up together. So while I go apple picking, there's obviously apple cider donuts there, which I always get. But there are so many places I know in the city that have apple cider donuts. I actually just went to the Union Square Farmers Market last week and they had a stand with apple cider donuts and I had to resist because I'm trying to save my sweets for specific occasions, as I mentioned in the previous episode. But apple cider donuts are such a treat, as well as just sipping apple cider. Number 5, go wine tasting. Got the pleasure of going wine tasting in the Hamptons this summer, which was such a fun experience. And before that, I knew that there are a lot of vineyards and wineries in Long Island, which again, you just hop on the LIRR and you can easily get there. So my goal is to go to at least one winery in that area this fall, and I will report back. Number 6, go beer/cider tasting. Again, mentioned this already, but where I go for apple picking, there's so many things there, which is why I love it so much and why I recommend it and why I go every year. But in your area, wherever you are, and also this applies to you if you like beer and if you like cider, but I also know that some places do non-alcoholic options. I think a fun part about tasting is you get to try multiple different things. That's why I love going beer, wine tasting, to just get little samples of a ton of things. And for my indecisive brain, it's nice to try a bunch of things before I commit to one thing. If you are someone who is into tastings, I highly recommend looking for some in your area. A lot of them are in really pretty locations, outside, in destinations that you might not even know. You just need to look them up and do some research, and you will be pretty surprised with what you can find in your area. And maybe it's not even that far from where you live. Number 7, make a homemade soup. Last year, I dived into, I think, 4 different types of soups. I made a white bean soup. I made a chicken chili soup. I made a tomato soup. I forgot the last one I made, but I was on my soup kick. Fall and soup are literally synonymous. You cannot convince me otherwise. It is cozy, so warm, so hearty, perfect for the season. I've actually been drinking soup very often the past few weeks, and I'm obsessed. Sometimes soup is all I crave. I find that there's times where I don't want to eat a full meal and I would rather just eat a hearty soup because it has the nutrients, it has the vegetables, it has the protein, it has the broth, it has everything you need. It is a full meal and it's light and it satiates you. How I find my recipes for soups, I love to search either TikTok or Pinterest. That's what I've been doing in the past. And just looking at the pictures, looking at the outcome and seeing what people are making, it's really fun to derive inspiration from other people and then obviously set out on your own journey and put it together on your own and make it a whole evening. I love lighting a candle, putting on a playlist, having all of my ingredients out, taking really thoughtful time to put together this meal. It is an act of self-care and it is a way for you to connect with yourself and also be proud of yourself that you made yourself something really good. If you have any soup recommendations, please send them my way. I'm always looking for more soups to try. Number 8, get a fall candle. So I just went through 2 of my fall candles and yeah, we're only in September. I love candles, especially in the fall. You will catch me with a candle lit every single day that I'm home, no exception. After this episode, I will be going to TJ Maxx and browsing some candles. In the past, I've been a little bit of a hoarder, which I'm trying to stop doing that. I used to buy multiple candles at a time and they ended up costing like $60-$70, which we're not going to do anymore. I'm only buying one candle at a time, which is very hard for me to do, but It is definitely lessening my consumption. And then it's also making me a lot more thoughtful about which candle I'm picking, because I know that this candle is going to be burning for the foreseeable future in my apartment. So I need to really love it and really, really cherish it. Some notes that I'm loving for candles in general, and then specifically in the fall: saffron, bergamot, santal, sandalwood, vanilla, pumpkin. Those are some of my favorite notes, especially in the fall. Also, having a candle lit is aromatherapy, and it helps you relax and unwind. I find when I have my candle lit, I'm just watching TV or I'm reading. It is an entire vibe in here. It's so cozy. I'm under my blankets. I never want to leave. Number 9, go to a tailgate. For this one, personally, that will require me to leave the city. Let's backtrack. Tailgates primarily refer to football. We are in football season. It's been so much fun going to the bars with my friends and sitting and watching the games. I actually realized that this year in specific, I'm way more into football than I've ever been. Now that I'm actually sitting and paying attention, it is actually really fun to be engaged with what's happening. And because I live in New York now, I am trying to be more into the New York teams. I love the New York Knicks. I love the Yankees. And now for football, I'm hearing that the Giants are better than the Jets. Personally, I am on the team of I don't really care who wins. I just like a good game and a good match. And also the social aspect of bars is why I go. But a tailgate in specific is when you hang out before the game. It's usually outdoors. People grill, people drink, people have a little social gathering party before they go into the game. I know that the New York sports teams play at MetLife, which is in New Jersey, and so that will require me to travel there. But I do have a few friends now in New Jersey, so that would be a really fun excursion for me to do, even if I don't end up going to the actual game, because I know that NFL games are pretty expensive. And personally, I'm not the type of girl who's gonna drop $300-$400 on a football game. You won't catch me doing that. However, I will partake in the festivities and the tailgates beforehand. It's also a really great way to be social and meet people, which you know I'm always trying to do. Number 10, watch a Sunday football game out at a bar. Bridging off of what I just said, Sundays are for the girls to watch football with the boys. I'm trying to make this a weekly thing. I went last Sunday. It was so much fun to just hang out at some of my favorite bars in New York every single time. This even happened last season. Every single time I make at least one new connection with a group of guys with my girlfriends, and that's so fun. When we think about where the guys are right now and for the foreseeable future until the Super Bowl, which is in February, they are watching the games with their friends at bars. But what's great is that they love when girls come watch the games because that shows interest in what they like. You know, sometimes you just have to lean into the plot. And for me, watching Sunday football at the bars is me leaning into the plot. Also, I love the idea of bar food for games. They are some of my favorite foods. Wings, french fries, nachos, things that I loved eating as a kid that I fully still love eating. You can't beat it. Number 11, a fall movie marathon. This is the ultimate cozy weekend in agenda. You have your snacks, you're in your cozy room, you've made your room, your apartment, the coziest place it can possibly be, and you binge 3 to 4 to 5 movies in a day. Some movies that I want to watch this fall are When Harry Met Sally, You've Got Mail, Little Woman, Hocus Pocus, Halloween Town. There's so many more, but I will just stop there. This is an activity that you can obviously do by yourself. You can invite friends over and have a movie marathon day, have everyone bring snacks, bring food. You can do this as a date. You can do this any way you feel. It's so much fun to just be cozy, be relaxed, not feel like you have to do anything crazy. You're literally just laying horizontal and looking at a screen and being with your friends or being by yourself and enjoying some restful time, but also some entertainment at the same time. Number 12, watch Gilmore Girls. I already have been doing this. I'm already on episode 14 of season 1. Mind you, I have already watched the entire series once before, but it is the quintessential fall show. From the intro to how it's filmed to the calmness and the quirkiness and the charm of the city and the characters, everything about that show screams fall. It is so warm and cozy, and I've been watching it every single night in the background as I've been reading, as I've been working. I love it so much, and Team Dean forever and always. Number 13, go fall decor shopping. I still haven't fully done this yet, so I'm saying this as an accountability for myself to put this on my calendar and get that done in the next few days. But I love going to Marshall's, Home Goods, TJ Maxx, browsing the selection. I also just went to Michael's and they have an entire section of fall decor. Just a little hot tip if you didn't know. I love putting a few little touches into my space to really gear myself mentally into the new season. Last year, I put a few mini pumpkins around my space. Those little notes of fall really help me lean into the new season. Number 14, have a bookstore day. By the time this episode goes live, I will already have episode 1 of my booked Black Girl series live on YouTube, which is essentially me leaning into an aspect of life that I love, which is reading and books. Books mean so much to me. Learning and engrossing myself in new worlds means a lot to me. I really wanted to share that in a more prevalent way, so I decided to document my experiences on YouTube. So if you're curious about more to what I'm saying right now, definitely go watch that video. I'll link it in the description of this podcast episode. And also don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Think about it. Bookstores feel so fall. Obviously, bookstores, you can go in at any time of the year, but in fall, just thinking about going there, getting lost in the books, learning about new genres, and picking a book that really speaks to you is really, really fun. I spent over an hour at a few bookstores in the past few weeks. It brought me so much joy, and I cannot wait to make bookstore shopping a weekly thing. And when I say bookstore shopping, I'm not even buying a book every single time I'm there. I just love browsing and I just love adding different titles to my TBR and learning about new genres and new releases. It's so much fun. So if you are a book girly like me, I highly recommend spending an afternoon at a bookstore, grab a coffee, and put in some headphones and just zone into the world of books. Number 15, read a thriller book. I feel like fall is the perfect time to lean into thriller because it's very synonymous with spooky season, Halloween season. So I have already picked up my first thriller book of the season, which is The Housemaid by Frida McFadden. It came highly recommended from so many people, so I'm very excited to read this book. And after reading this book, I will definitely let you know my thoughts via YouTube. And then also I will be on the lookout for more thrillers based on how I feel after reading this book. Number 16, read in Central Park. I did this last year. I loved it. And I cannot wait to do it again, especially when it is peak foliage in Central Park. It is the most beautiful sight. Getting a blanket, having a little picnic, having snacks, having my headphones, and just getting into a good book in one of the most beautiful places I've ever been, Central Park. Number 17, see the foliage anywhere and everywhere I can from September to November. That is the foliage peak season. I will do my best to capture as much foliage with my eyes as possible because it is just so beautiful to see the gradient of gold and brown leaves as they change. Number 18, go to Vermont. This is another place that I really want to see foliage, but also Vermont is the quintessential fall trip in my mind. I'm planning to go in October and I'm very, very looking forward to seeing it for the first time ever. This will be my very first time in this state, so I also can't wait to just cross off Vermont off of my travel bucket list, but also have the cutest, warmest, coziest few days in a place that I've heard so much about, and I cannot wait to finally see it with my own eyes. Number 19, dress up for Halloween. I honestly am team you're not too old to dress up for Halloween, because why would you think that? It's not just for kids, it's not just for teenagers. You can dress up whenever you want. And honestly, leaning into that youthful side keeps us young, keeps us fun. So I will definitely be dressing up for Halloween. I actually already have to start planning what I'm going to be for Halloween. At this point, I have no idea, but one thing about Halloween, even though it is the same day every single year, it creeps up on you. We don't think about it until it is 2 weeks, 1 week until the 31st, and then we're scrambling. I don't want to be like that. So I'm going to say this right now. I'm going to pick my Halloween outfit, my Halloween costume by the beginning of October so that I can actually plan and execute to make my Halloween costume the best it can be. I've had some pretty iconic Halloween costumes in the past. I got really, really into the makeup and the theatrics of it to make some seemingly basic outfits look optically so good. The proof is on my Pinterest. I will put the Pinterest link to all of my past amazing Halloween costumes again in the description of this episode so you can get some inspiration if you need any. Number 20, attend a Friendsgiving. I think Friendsgivings are, again, so wholesome, so cozy. It's nice to indulge in food, but also be social, make new friends. I went to a few Friendsgivings last year and they were really, really fun, and they were a really great way to meet new people and also enjoy other people's company, enjoy the food that everyone is bringing. So I'm very much looking forward to doing that again here in New York City. Number 21, thrift one new clothing item. So a friend actually invited me to a thrifting event this weekend. So maybe I will already complete this item very soon. But overall, I've been on the hunt for finding at least one new item for each season. I really want to start doing a no buy month, a no buy season, which obviously that's a little hard, but being more intentional about what I'm bringing into my closet. I've found that over the years and over the seasons, really, I am such a hoarder because I think that I need certain clothes and certain items, but I have not touched said clothes or said items for months and months and months. And even some of them I haven't touched in over a year, which obviously means that they are not staples in my wardrobe. Therefore, they have no place in my wardrobe. Finding a gem in the rough that I will hopefully have for years and years. There are a few things I'm thinking of in terms of clothing items that I would want for this new season. Now that we're in fall, we're obviously thinking trench coats, we're thinking boots, we're thinking denim maxi skirts, some sweaters. There are a few things that I can foresee myself wanting. So I will report back if I find a gem that I would like to share. Number 22, bake cookies. Cookies are my kryptonite. Specifically, chocolate chip cookies are my favorite sweet treat, my favorite baked good. If I am presented with a chocolate chip cookie, I will never say no. I think it's really fun to bake your own. I do like the process of baking, and I've definitely enjoyed the process of baking over time as I've really learned about how to bake. I do want to challenge myself to make chocolate chip cookies from scratch. I've usually just bought pre-made dough and put it in the oven. Nothing wrong with that. But I think it'll be fun to do a start to finish DIY cookie making afternoon, evening, maybe do it with friends or just do it by myself. Also, I love eating cookies with milk. It's kind of funny because I don't like drinking milk. I actually don't drink milk straight up. I never have. But I love dipping a warm chocolate chip cookie in cold milk. Same feeling of eating a warm slice of pumpkin pie specifically with a scoop of vanilla ice cream. That hot and cold, something about that. Whoever first thought that was a great idea was onto something. I also really want to get stencils and make them in fun shapes. It's one thing to eat your favorite baked goods, favorite sweet treat, but it's another thing to have them in a fun shape I think it makes it more fun to eat. I was recently in Michael's and I saw so many different cookie stencils. It took everything in me not to buy it right then and there because I was in there for a specific reason, but that just got me thinking. I really want to make them in fun shapes because it's just so cute. It's just a cute, fun way to be happy. And that's all it is. It's as simple as that. It doesn't really need to have this whole big meaning. It's just something cute and fun, something that you'll look at and smile at, and something very memorable. Number 23, make a fall inspired cocktail. I come from a long background of loving the experimentation of making cocktails. I've made a ton of different cocktails over time for myself, for my friends, for just the fun of it. There are a few cocktails that I've heard of that I wanted to share with you guys, give you some inspiration if you also enjoy making cocktails and making them seasonal. Cinnamon apple bourbon smash, spicy apple cider margarita, spiced honey bourbon old fashioned, pumpkin spice white Russian. That one sounds very interesting. Cranberry bourbon sour, apple cider mimosa. That was just a few that I wrote down. You can obviously also make any of these a mocktail if you don't drink, if you just want to have it more of a mocktail instead of with alcohol. By all means, switch it up, make it something that you are interested in. It doesn't have to have alcohol if you don't want it to. Number 24, drink apple cider / mulled wine. I made mulled wine from scratch a while ago. This was back when I still lived in San Francisco, so this had to be 2020, 2019. And it was really, really easy to make. It was only a few ingredients along with making the beverage. Your entire apartment house will smell so warm and inviting. Notes of cinnamon, clove, and other spices will just illuminate your space, and it lingers for a while, which is great because obviously it smells good. For apple cider, I've been loving warm apple cider. Something about that feels very nostalgic. I used to drink that a lot when I was a kid. You can get apple cider from the grocery store, but I implore you to go out to a farmer's market and support local businesses, support smaller businesses, and buy local. Number 25, have a crafts day. I love crafts. Crafts are a very big part of my personality. I recently spent an afternoon making my reading journal where I first went to Michael's and bought a notebook, I bought stickers, I bought ribbon, I bought glue, which thinking about buying glue is just such a childhood experience because when we were growing up, obviously on our back to school list, glue was always a staple on that list. So buying glue again when I have not bought glue in probably over 20 years was very, very nostalgic in the best way. And I spent an entire afternoon creating a reading journal from scratch. And I used markers, I used pens, I put on a playlist that was very warm and very relaxing. And I just had an afternoon to myself crafting and making something that will be a keepsake and something that I can come back to often and update and make it more and more personalized. I'm a very hands-on person. I've said this before, and the act of putting love into something that means a lot to me is so special. I can't even really quantify how special it is to make something on my own and make something I'm proud of and make something that makes me smile. It's such an inward activity, and that's why it's perfect for fall. Fall is where we find ourselves starting to look inward, starting to be more to ourselves, and that's not a bad thing. I think that's the misunderstanding of fall. People think that being more inward and leaning more to ourselves is a negative when it's the absolute opposite. We do need hibernation and we do need more idle solitude moments to grow within ourselves and tap into ourselves. And I believe that crafts is just one way that you can do this, and that's one way I highly recommend spending your solo time. This can also be done with a friend, with other people, but I really, 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 really treasure the moments that I spend with myself in this way. Number 26, make a what I'm thankful for list. I want to do this in November because that lines up with Thanksgiving. I think it's really important to reflect on the things that you're thankful for, because we all often forget about the things we take for granted. We take so many things for granted every single day, and we don't stop to think about all the things that we are offered in this life that we don't even have to think twice about. Where we live, access to clean clothes, clean water, access to the opportunities that we have. So many things that we do not even think twice about. So I'm looking forward to sitting down and making a very thorough list of all the things I'm thankful for, because there is also so much to be thankful for. Even when we're going through negativity and a hard time, there's always something to be thankful for. Number 27, bake pumpkin bread. So specifically, I want to make chocolate chip pumpkin bread. I've made chocolate chip banana bread so many times. It is so good. But in the season of fall, we're obviously making pumpkin bread. I already have the pumpkin loaf baking pan. I'm already halfway there. Now I just need to go to Trader Joe's and buy the ingredients, and I'm very looking forward to having a baking day. And number 28, go on a hike. I specifically want to go to Cold Springs. I wrote this down on my spring bucket list. So it has been many months in the making of wanting to do this activity, and I'm very excited to go, hopefully in October. I feel like October will be when a lot of this bucket list materializes. I believe that October is the main fall month. Also, October is my birthday month. Obviously, it is the best month of the year. I'm so excited. I really hope that this episode helped you lean into your own fall bucket list. It's very fun and very encouraged to write things down that you want to do. A lot of us aimlessly go through life and we see things, but we are not fully compelled to act on them. And that's why I believe writing down a tangible bucket list, a physical, tangible bucket list, is so helpful. You see it on paper. They are your words, your writing, and it sparks something in you. It sparks more willpower to actually get it done. We are at the beginning of fall. There's no excuses. Take time for yourself. Make a bucket list. Go out in your hometown, in your city, travel if you feel so compelled to, but make this season worthwhile. You deserve that. And with that, thank you so much for listening to another episode of Misunderstood. Remember to rate the show 5 stars on Apple and Spotify and follow it wherever you are listening. Join our Geneva group chat. It is always linked in the description of every single podcast episode. Hang out with me on my other socials, TikTok, YouTube, Pinterest, and Instagram at NK Madani. And I will talk to you guys in my next one.